Hi Stampers, welcome back to another online class. My name is Gloria and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today we're playing with designer papers and we're making quick, fun Halloween and Christmas cards using the versatile Poinsettia Place designer papers. These papers are on sale for 15% off from now through October 31st. There are 15 lovely papers on sale, and the information will be linked below. I love how the designer papers dress up our projects to create quick, easy cards. Here's a quick tour of those pretty designer papers. We have some traditional colors of the reds and greens, but also some less traditional ones. And I also love that they've included some papers such as these here, the back sides of the greens, and also this one that you can use for your masculine cards and for other occasions outside of Christmas. So I love the versatility. I'm going to show you some different cards that highlight those uses. Here are the fun cards we're going to make today. This is one of the ones that use the back side of the brown one that you can use for all different occasions, and we're pairing that with our Have a Hoot set. That's great for both Halloween, Christmas, and even thank yous. The inside looks like this. Isn't that stinking cute? Next we're going to do this one here. It's going to be an elegant Christmas. And lastly, I want to share with you this one. Our first Have a Hoot card uses a really cute bundle which has lots of images for both Halloween, Christmas, from all of us, can be for any occasion. I thought this would be really cute if you inked up just the two images and then punched a heart and make it an anniversary card or a I love you thinking of you card for that special someone in your life. Here are the dimensions for our card. And we're going to start by folding our gorgeous Grape cardstock in half. All right, first thing we want to do is to emboss that with our cool Cobwebs designer 3D embossing folder. I open it up and sandwich this card in. And the most important thing is to make sure that the design goes all the way to the fold. So if you were just a sandwich like this, if you look carefully, you'll see that the design would not go all the way to the fold. So you want to scooch that down a wee bit and make sure that the design goes all the way down to the fold, which means the fold is slightly inside that folder. You're going to take the platform, put it on tab 1, and because it's a 3D embossing folder, we don't need the other clear plates. We just need to place the folder on the platform and then use your specialty plate, which is designed for our 3D folders, and send it through your big shot. When you're done, you'll have this really cool image. Next, we want to work on our designer paper. And as I said, this is from that Poinsettia Place set. Here's the back side of it, but we're going to use this side. I want to punch some holes. This is my tree, and I want to punch a few holes in there. So to do that, I'm going to take my Post-its, take 2 or 3 of them, and tear it off. Find the sticky side, the tacky side, and that's the side that we are going to punch. I'm going to use my 1 3/4 inch punch, or if you don't have this punch, you can also use your layering circles. When you go to place your circles as your template, one tip is to make sure that we leave some space in the center for the saying. So we want to put one towards the top and the other one towards the bottom to leave an empty space here in between. So maybe I want it there. Then you'll simply take your punch and give it a punch. And now we're going to take our white cardstock and hold it behind this paper. You'll line it up on the back side so that we don't have any white showing, and the white is just a wee bit smaller than that designer paper. You'll take a pencil and just lightly draw around the edge. It doesn't have to go all the way around, but definitely towards the bottom, maybe, you know, halfway. And when you remove it, you have an idea of where those circles are. We'll be able to erase those later. Set the designer paper aside, and now we'll ink up our images. We're going to use the black Momento ink with our caped owl. We'll put the caped one at the, we'll put him at the bottom. Tap, tap, tap. And so you can kind of aim. What I'd look for is that I know this bend or hump is the moon. So when I turn it over, I want to make sure that that moon is towards the top of that circle. And then you have your little guy stamped inside that circle. For the spider image here, I want to make sure that I get that part into the circle. So I can see here the shape that I want to include in my circle as well. So I'm going to tap, tap, tap and make sure I get that part on the upper corner. And there we have our little guy. All right, now we want to add some color to these guys. And I want to share a couple, variety of different coloring techniques depending on what tools you have to color with. But we're going to start coloring him in with our watercolor pencils. And to do that, you can apply a fair amount of pressure. So what you'll do is I look for the accent lines, like along his feathers and his eyebrows. And I definitely want to make those a little darker. And then the rest of it, I'm not coloring the entire image, but I'm going to definitely do around the edges. And all those dark accent places. And then just a little more around the edges. And a little bit lightly in the center. So we're not actually taking this pencil and coloring in the whole thing. We're just giving some accent marks. And I'm going to do the same here on that side. So cute. Now once we have all those in place, you can then take your blendability pen. It's two-sided. One side is more broad. And we can then just bring the color in towards the center. And these watercolor pencils blend so beautifully. You can also use your aqua painter if you want. And there you have, in just a few seconds, colored in our little owl guy. So you'll do that also to the second image. And then we want to add some eyes for him. So I'm going to use my light daffodil blendability. And I think I can use the brush side for his eyeballs. And we'll do his eyeballs down here as well. I want to use a little pumpkin pie for his little nose. And remember, there's two sides to your blendability pen, so I'm going to use the fine one. And just give him a little orange beak. All right. Next, I'm going to use the same blendability pen to color in the tree. So I'm going to just squeeze and get a little ink on here in the center. Oops. Now you want to make sure you never touch a brush or water aqua painter onto the pad itself. So I tend to just put a little bit by squeezing the lid on there. And we're going to clear the gray color that we had by just stroking onto junk paper. You pick up the ink straight from the lid, and then you can color the tree right in. Lastly, we're going to add a little bit of color to our spider as well. I'm going to take my black Momento ink, and I need to get a little ink onto the edge of something. So I just grabbed one of my clear blocks, smeared a little color on there, and guess what? I can pick that up with my blendability pen again and just color in our little spider guy. So cute. Now we're going to do the cape here, and we're going to speed this up in just a minute. But with the cape, I want to use that gorgeous grape color. So what I'm going to do is take my gorgeous grape pad and give it a squeeze. If I'm not strong enough to do that, then I'll just take my clear block and just touch the edge there to put some ink. And then you take your, this is my clear Wink of Stella. Love it. It gives a lot of shimmer, but you can also use it to color in just by picking up any ink. So you just go ahead and touch that ink area, and you can see you can color in. I want it kind of, I want to go ahead and take that. And again, I start with the shadowing part, touching that. And then I'm just going to use whatever's left on the Wink of Stella and just do around the edge. And as it gets lighter, I'm just going to keep coloring in. And what's cool about the Wink of Stella is that it also gives a nice shimmer. Pick up more color as you need it. And again, I start from the outside and I pull the color inwards so that we have some natural shading going on. Each time I start outside first before I go do the center part. You'll finish coloring the little guy with our gray pencil as before, and we'll add a little yellow moon. When you're all done coloring, it'll look like this. Isn't that cute? And then we'll simply take an eraser and erase the pencil marks that you had made initially. Take your designer paper, put tape on or your favorite adhesive on each of the four corners. So you have your adhesive on each of the four corners, and then you'll line it back up. So that you get their little faces in the holes. You notice here I have a little bit of extra showing, so you can use scissors or your paper trimmer to cut that off. Just give it a little haircut. I like to use long bladed scissors. We're going to use the Have a Hoot on Halloween saying. We're using that black Momento ink again. We're going to stamp that onto our pumpkin pie cardstock. So tap, tap, tap. And I just give it a little 1, 2, 3. Press straight down, look straight up. And by the way, you notice this has foam on it, so I did not need to put my foam mat down. I'm going to take my punch and I unlock it first by sliding it up like this. And then here's the mouth that you insert. And we want to go ahead and punch, give that a little punch. We'll also take our piece of Granny Apple green, and I want to just cut it at an angle. Place it on my project to kind of guesstimate where that needs to be cut. I want it to be about the width of the designer paper. Next, we'll go ahead and attach that Granny Apple green piece of cardstock that you've cut about in the middle there. And lastly, we'll attach our saying, Have a Hoot on Halloween, with our mini Stampin' Dimensionals. These are two-sided, so several will work. I just take that and put it on the back side, and there's a lid on top of that. It's two-sided, so we take those lids off and then place that on our card. Lastly, we want to give it a little fun accent. So we're going to take our bundle of our little treats, and we have this really cute spider that we're just going to cut out on a piece of black cardstock. And when you're done, he looks like this. And we'll simply take and put him on with a Stampin' Dimensional as well. And attach them. So cute. Next, we're going to take the Flowers for Every Season gems that comes with a Jar of Flowers bundle, or in that suite rather. We're going to take our glue dots, find the next one, and use your pick tool to fold it into a little ball. Next, I'm going to take the other end that has a sticky end and find one of our gems, pick it up, and set it on top of that glue dot that was balled up. Now we'll use this to scoop underneath, and we'll place that onto our card. Let's see, maybe I want it down just a wee bit. I've done the same with a couple other gems. You're going to take that and adhere that to your card. And for the inside of the card, we'll take a small piece of the 4 by 5 1/4 cardstock. You'll take the word boo and stamp 2 of them slanted this way in the gorgeous grape ink, and then twice in the black Momento ink. We stamped our little pumpkin guy there and colored it in as I've shown before on the previous video. Now that we have our spooky Halloween card, it's so much fun to gift a matching box to go with it. I've done several videos on how to do these little boxes, so I'll just do the link on how to cut and emboss the box. But then I have some fun tips to share with you for our new metallic mesh ribbon, so stick around. We're going to decorate this box with a new product from the holiday catalog. It's called Metallic Mesh Ribbon, and it's really gorgeous. Let's see if I can make this so you can see it better. There you go. It has a pretty silver color, and what I love about it, it's super flexible. It's also very elegant looking, and I'll show you another card on how to use it later. So what I'm going to do is just make a loop like this, and then make my second, bring it around. We're going to just tie a quick bow here and tighten it up, and you can make those ears as big or as small as you want, and you can adjust it and then trim off the ends. When you're all done, it looks like this, and we're just going to stick it down with some glue dots. So 1 or 2 is plenty for a fun bow, and we're just going to park that at the very top. It's kind of webby and light, so it kind of reminds me of the spider. How cute! So there's your matching box to go with your card. A little favor and a card for someone special. Our second card uses our gorgeous Poinsettia petals along with that designer paper. Let's go ahead and cut the parts first. So I want to use the stitched shapes, and I'm using the second to the largest circle out of that set. And what I love about this set is you get nested circles, ovals, and squares. Cut a circle out of the vanilla cardstock, and here are the dimensions for this card. Now take your piece of designer paper that's 2 1/4 by 3 3/4 inches and place it in your paper cutter, portrait orientation with the short side at the top. We're going to cut 3/4 inch strips, and the most important thing is as you cut these strips, make sure that you keep them in order. It will make your life a lot easier later. So we're going to cut 3/4 inch strips, and you see that I set it aside, but I keep them in order. Next, we're going to adhere our designer paper onto the soft suede mat. And to do so, we're going to just simply put adhesive on the back of your designer paper and then just stick it to that cardstock, leaving a little border at the top and sides. So now you see why it's important to keep them in order so that you're not trying to figure out how the images go together like a jigsaw puzzle. So put your adhesive on your designer strips, and then as you tape it down, we want to leave a little border in between each. So a little space at the top, a little space at the bottom, and a little space in between. And lastly, we put our third piece on. Next, we're going to put a little embellishment behind our saying. So I'm going to take our reversible peacock old olive ribbon, and I want to form some loops, and simply trim at an angle. To put that ribbon down, I'm going to put a piece of adhesive in the center. Then I'm going to make those loops again, so that they kind of zigzag in diagonal fashion. Once I'm happy with it, I place it on that adhesive and I check it with my saying to see if I'm happy with it. And then once I'm happy with it, I'm going to put another strip of adhesive on top of that, just to make sure it's not going anywhere. Now I want to stamp my saying. To do that, I look at my image and I ask myself if there's foam or no foam. As you see, this is a photopolymer stamp, so it has no foam. I'm going to need my gray mat to get the best image. I'm going to set that down and place my saying on top. I'm inking it up with my shaded spruce ink here. Tap, tap, tap. And it's very juicy, so you don't want to press into the ink pad. You want to just tap gently on the surface. I think Connie Stewart says it's like kissing a baby. All right, then we're going to put this in the center. Count 1, 2, 3 without rocking and lift. We're going to adhere this to our card with those Stampin' Dimensionals, the mini ones. As you can tell, I really like these. Take the lids off again. And adhere that to our card. Lastly, we want to add some fun embellishments, and so this time I'm reaching for my champagne rhinestones because I think it goes nicely with the yellow or cream color of the designer paper. I'm going to reach for my take your pick tool again to scoop off the ones that I want. Put a medium-sized one, so I like to press on them to make sure that the adhesive sticks well. And just kind of get that tip underneath. We're going to put one here at the top. My card is going to be a soft seafoam base. So I'm going to take and fold that in half. Next, we'll decorate the inside of the card. So you open up the card, and we're going to use Merry Christmas saying, also from that stamp set. We're going to use it in our shaded spruce ink pad, so tapping very, very gently. Stamp 1, 2, 3 and lift. I'm going to use Seafoam, and I'm going to put this beautiful image right in the corner. Actually, I think I'm going to put it right at the top. There you go. Tape the card onto the front, and you have another beautiful holiday card using the designer paper and a fun different layout. Here's our final card using those beautiful designer papers. Very, very elegant, but so quick and easy. Here are the dimensions for this project. We're going to start by cutting the parts first of all. We're going to need the framelets that come with the Poinsettia Petals set. And we're going to use the red velvet paper to cut 2 of these really cute little poinsettias, and also a silver foil berry. So you place that on your magnetic platform with one base plate at the bottom, your cardstock with the framelets and dies on top, and then you need one more clear plate on top. Check out how beautiful these little velvet poinsettias are. You notice that they also have an embossing on top of being cut. So pretty. We're going to start by adhering this beautiful designer paper onto the white cardstock, leaving a border on one side and then the top and bottom. So one side and the top and bottom. We're also going to attach a piece of the real red cardstock. And you notice this is a 1/4 inch, so it's pretty narrow. What I do is I take my adhesive, if you're using this sort of adhesive, and just put it along the edge and fold over any extras. And then I place that right along the edge of the designer paper. All right, next we're going to take that beautiful mesh ribbon again. And what I love about this is that you can either use it full width, or you can also very easily fold it or crinkle it to give it some interesting texture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape and put it on the back side. Then I'm going to cut a piece of the magic mesh a little bit longer than the length of my cardstock. And now I want to kind of give it a little dimension, so I'm kind of going to scrunch it up a little bit. But I wanted to fill most of that area, so I'm purposely kind of gathering it a little bit at the end or edges, just so that it has a little bit of dimension. It's not just laying flat against the card, so kind of scrunch it a little bit and then fold it over. You can always reposition it. I'm going to move it just a little bit more towards the edge so you can take it off. So again, you want to scrunch or fold it slightly so it has some dimension. There you go. So I'm purposely making it so it is not sitting flat. Once you're happy with it, go ahead and put tape on the ends to secure it into place. And we're simply going to attach this to our red card base with tape. Simply take this, center it over our red card base, and tape it down. Finishing it off is so easy to do. We're going to take our tag. This is our Tasteful Labels tag, cut out with Whisper White. And check out, there's this really cool border that's embossed on the edge. We're going to stamp our saying from that stamp set. Again, we're still going to need that foam mat. So we bring that back, tap, tap, tap in our red ink, and center it. Let me make sure I've got the right side here. I like to have the embossed edge facing up, and stamp it 1, 2, 3. Warm wishes from our home to yours. I stamped it just a wee bit lower. Now I want to attach the beautiful berries that I had cut out. So to do that, I'm just going to put some tape on the back side of the label. Be careful not to smudge the print. And I want to have it sticking out kind of diagonally. So I set that down to see where I want it to be, maybe like that. Have that pick it up and then put a piece of tape on the back side. So I just want a little bit sticking out there. And now I'm ready to attach that to the card with some dimensionals. So with the dimensionals, we'll go ahead and attach that to the card. Oh, about there. Now I'm going to take those beautiful velvet poinsettias and give them a little shape by doing up and over motion on each of them. So I'm not bending them, but just kind of curving them slightly. And the bottom one is not as important. I'm going to put those two together with another dimensional right in the center. And I want to offset them to give them some additional depth there. I'm going to attach it to the card. With another dimensional. Oops, I did not take the lid off. There we go. I have to take the lid off first before that will stick. And offset the petals. And then we're going to stick that onto the card with another dimensional. I'm going to park that towards the upper corner and finish it off with one of our beautiful rhinestones to give it a little bit of bling. So pretty. but super quick and super easy. Now I promised some cool tips and techniques with that magic mesh ribbon. So you've seen an elegant use here. You've seen me do bows for a wispy look, but it's also actually very elegant too because it's silver. But did you know that you can actually color your magic mesh to match your projects? So just cut the length that you need. You simply place it on your ink pad and have a paper napkin or something on top and just drag it through, drag it across. So you might need to do a couple times to get a nice coverage. And then you will need to give it some drying time. So let me show you what that looks like. So pretty. Now you've got a reddish one. It's a fun, easy way to create coordinated, elegant look to go with your cards and to decorate and embellish them. I hope you'll experiment and create your own beautiful, easy Christmas cards with your favorite designer papers. Remember, our sale goes until October 31st. If you need more to play with or need any other supplies, please click on the shopping link below or go to my website and use the hostess code shown. I'll be sharing more dazzling designer paper cards and easy card layouts and techniques in my next online class, so be sure to subscribe so you'll know when that's posted. Keep stamping, have fun, see you then. Thanks for watching.